Well, look who it is. Hang on a minute. Fucking cobwebs all over my microphone. Has it really been 2 months since our last video? I guess so. Yeah, is what it is. There wasn't a lot of content to make, but we're back. And Season 7 actually off to a pretty fun start. And holy moly, leveling is really weird this time. And we're going to go through the sort of best build to get your season started off. Within the first day, I'm already, within literally like 8 hours, farming in tier 2, tier 3 and tier 4 on the horizon. Just need to throw a few more hours at it. It's a weird build. I'll just say it. It's a weird build, but let's stop stalling and get into what it is. So going over to our build planner here, write-up is in progress, but the link to this will be in the description, and I will fill out the written segment as I can. But we have two variations here, one for 1 to 35, one to 35 to 60. And in this very first one, you'll see that I haven't really recommended any aspects because, well, I mean, I was going to say you wouldn't really get any, but you will get loads this season. It's just you can't really determine which ones you're going to get. So you just throw on basically what you get because the build works perfectly well without them. And what is the build? Well, you're going to see in a second why I've made it this way, but we're primarily focusing on generic damage buffs, things that buff our damage globally, things like damage while berserking, because that just affects all damage, and anything else like that that we can find, and movement speed. So we are going into lunging strike. This will be our primary attack. We will use this the most. So this will be dashing between enemies and getting us where we need to be. We do have violent upheaval as well. This will give us a very reliable source of berserking. That's movement speed and damage. So that's really, really good for us. Our trusted friend, Tactical Rallying Cry as well. This is going to be a source of fury, movement speed, and it will break us out of stuns. We got charge and leap. Need I say any more? Mobility, 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 swiftness for movement speed. We have Pit Fighter because this is a generic source of damage. And then we are going to go into Call of the Ancients. Great for bursting down bosses, and again, another general damage boost. And we're going into Unconstrained because, again, we're heavily investing in berserking here. Now, all of the points are not spent in this variant. You'll see the rest of the points spent in this one when we get to it, but I just want to quickly go over the last couple of things. So the next one is the technique here. We're going to be using Sword. It's a nice added damage over time to any of your attacks, so that's just, a really good, reliable source of damage early on. Then for Mercenary, always Variana, the movement speed boost that you get from her is insanely valuable early on. The attack speed boost as well, very, very valuable when you're using lunging strikes. It helps you get that ability off more often, meaning you can move around quicker. Just using Sabu here for Molotov, really not too important this early on. You could also use Ra here if you are having trouble staying alive, but the game is going to throw legendary loot at you this time around, so that probably won't be too much of an issue. Now, let's talk about the most important thing about this season. That is the witchcraft powers. And holy shit, these are unbelievable. So you will want to do the seasonal quest chain right away because these are dumb strong, really dumb strong, and you would have been seeing it in the gameplay so far. I'm practically not doing anything. You can just basically walk into enemies and these will auto kill the entire screen for you, especially in the earlier levels. When you get your first set of powers, it is absolutely insane. You'll shoot up to like level 20 almost instantly. So definitely focus on getting these. And funny enough, the ones you get pretty much out of the gate will serve you extremely well all the way to level 60. And those are Hex of Whispers, Hex of Flames, Aura of Siphoning, Firebat Servants, and Shaken Soul. When you do finally unlock it, Doom Orb, again, just even more passive DPS. I would argue, and this is for a different video, but these are so strong that your build practically doesn't matter, and that's why we're just trying to juice these as much as possible, as well as increasing our movement speed, because that is really the only limiting factor in how fast that we are going to be leveling. Now, quickly to tie this off, I want to talk about the last leg of leveling. And now we do have some aspects here. You don't have to use all of these. I mean, I would argue you probably don't even have to use any of these. But at the same time, let's talk about which ones are actually the primary focuses for you to help get your leveling through as easy as possible. So definitely Might and Juggernaut here are going to practically make you invincible. So getting those two on there are going to be absolutely massive for you. Rapid as well. Extremely good, extremely fun. Lunging strike is going to help a huge deal. Now, one thing you'll see in my later footage is I actually start to lean into an ancestral charge build as well. Helps with mobility, insane AoE clear, just pairs extremely well with the witch powers because they're like a a short range aura around you. So it's all about getting to the enemies as fast as possible. Charge is a great tool for that, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. Now, throughout this entire leveling journey, basically the only stat I really focus on is strength. The witch powers scale an obscene amount with strength, so you definitely want to try and just prioritize as much of that as possible. But as always, armor, elemental resistances, and movement speed are going to play a large role in that as well. So try and get those as close to these caps as humanly possible. And don't forget, movement cap does include things like dynamic movement speed boosts, like Rallying Cry, which gives you a short boost to speed, as well as Berserking, which gives you a movement speed buff while it is active. The skill tree for this one is a little bit different than the previous, just to kind of emphasize on those parts that I added. So charge is going to be juiced on this one. We have got belligerence as well because it's ridiculously strong. We are going to buff up ourselves while berserking because berserking is going to be near permanent at this point. Slaying Strike got a huge buff, so we're using that. We're still using the same ultimate, the same key passive. All of that is pretty similar. You're just basically building off of the last tree here. We do have a leveling path as well if you are interested in following it point for point, but you're going to be leveling up real fast, to be honest with you. Now, at this point, we will have a Paragon tree in here at the time of the video going live. I've not got it in there right now because I'm still actually making it myself in game, but by the time this video is up, it will be in there. It will be a nice simple one though. We'll be going into Challenger on this first board because that will give us an absolute ton of damage, then into Blood Rage, and most likely into Weapon Master after that. And then from that point, I will have links to my end game builds because you'll want to transition into one of those once you start getting your uniques, once you start getting a nice library of your legendary aspects. But that's it. Nice short video for you today. Glad to be back. Hope you guys are having a good season. Barb is eating well this time around. Looking forward to getting those build guides out for you. And don't forget, as always, to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. There's going to be a few videos coming out over the next week. All right, that's all for me. Love ya. Bye. Mwah.